What is good? Wagwan. It's your boy Nav, and today we're gonna be talking about the best time of year to start your clothing brand and the best item to drop, right? To start your clothing brand. So a lot of people normally start their clothing brand with accessories because that might be the manufacturer they know, or that might be what they wanted for themselves. So they might start with hats or beanies, or maybe that's something that they thought was easy entry or it was cheaper. But I think the best time to start your clothing brand is fall, right? Regardless of where you live, right? Like as long as you're in America, I would say fall time. Unless you live in maybe Hawaii, right? Because then you want to sell to people, But if you live in any city that even gets just a little cold around fall time, doesn't need to snow, doesn't need to get crazy, right? It just gets a little chilly, right, around fall time, and people do wear hoodies. People wear hoodies in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So that's just about any city. You definitely want to start with hoodies in the fall time because people will buy a hoodie more than they'll buy a t-shirt, because they'll buy the t-shirt and I feel like people would think about a t-shirt more, how they want it to look, what color they want, and you can drop one hoodie and sell out that one hoodie. While when it comes to t-shirts, people tend to want options. They tend to want different colors or have it say something else or whatever it might be. You can drop a hoodie, a black hoodie, and it will sell because it's getting colder, and people are more willing to try out a brand's hoodie than they are to try out the t-shirt, because they'll be like, oh, I need a hoodie, or I want to get something warm, or it's getting cold. The second reason is that people wear hoodies more. People will wear that hoodie twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, right? But regardless, they're gonna wear it more than how they'd wear that one t-shirt, or maybe the hat. But they could wear the hat, but then the hat might get covered. You know what I'm saying? People might not look at the hat that much, and not everybody wear hats, but everybody where it gets cold wears a hoodie. Everybody, or a sweatshirt, right? This is what I debuted my brand with. This is the debut sweater, and I made a sweater because I wanted to drop, when it was fall time, and I felt like, it kind of took a little while for me to drop. So I was like, I'm gonna do a sweater instead of a hoodie, right? And also, the design was super big, so I didn't want it to go over the pocket. So that's why I started with a sweater. It didn't sell as fast as when I dropped my hoodies, right? So when I dropped these hoodies, this is the fastest sellout drop I had, right? Like at the time of dropping these hoodies, I still had sweaters that needed to get sold. You feel me? I still had these that needed to get sold, and then this drop helped these sell out. So I made a bunch of different colors. I even tested out some colors. I tested out red. I didn't release the red one, and I made green. And people love these hoodies, even though I kind of hated these hoodies because I felt like it wasn't on brand with what I was going for. But people love these hoodies, you know what I mean? It's not bad. It's still a frame, right? And I might do a 2.0, we'll see. But the wanted hoodies, people love them, and they definitely sold out. And people will buy a hoodie. There's some people like, I need a red hoodie, and they'll buy your hoodie and make it work, right? They're not even looking at the design, right? And you might think okay, that's not what I want people to buy. But at the end of the day, you want people to buy, right? Regardless of what their reason is. You can't control everybody's reasoning. If you're trying to make a brand where you could start with 5 pieces, you could start with 10 pieces, you can start with a dozen, right? You don't have to start with no crazy numbers. But the item you should definitely start with is a hoodie. It could be just a hoodie with a brand name on it. I think it should have something a little different going to it. It could be black, it could be gray. Doesn't need to be nothing crazy going on. You feel me? But you're definitely gonna sell hoodies more than you're gonna sell socks. You know what I'm saying? People want different types of socks. You know what I'm saying? People want different color socks. There's so many different things people might want, and the only thing I found that people care about when it comes to a hoodie is if it has a drawstring or not. You feel me? People will buy hoodies that I think are subpar quality, and they'll buy those, right? I want super thick hoodies because I want to be warm, and I'm coming from that Caribbean climate, so I require a different level of warmness with the fleece. But people will buy hoodies whether it's out as just supporting your brand, or it's just a color they like. It could just be a colored hoodie with your brand name on it. You could drop 2 colors. You could drop one color first and then drop the next color, and that hoodie will sell out. A hoodie drop will sell out. You could do sweatsuits too, right? So if you have the funds to go for it and you're trying to go big, you can do sweatsuits. Sweatsuits are gonna sell out because sweatsuits are an easy outfit. You drop sweatsuits in October, you're selling out by December, bro. Guaranteed. New brand, you're selling out. As long as you're selling, as long as you're going out and trying to sell it to people, you're gonna sell out. You're gonna find people who will buy that sweatsuit. You know what I'm saying? There's little things that people tend to care about sometimes. I just got a bunch of blanks right here. So little things that people care about sometimes with sweatsuits is like, you know, how the cuff of the pants might fit. But you find people who care about it, you find people who won't. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't worry about that right now. Later on, when your brand is bigger, you can have options. But sweatsuits definitely a big way to get that, you know, that cha-ching coming in, and then do the next drop that you want to have that might be more of a more accurate representation of what your brand stands for. I was against sweatsuits at first because I was like, okay, I don't really want to be like a sweatsuit brand. I want to be something else. But I realized that people like sweatsuits. If it's rainy or it's like it's laundry day or whatever it is, a sweatsuit is an easy outfit, bro. You got a black sweatsuit, you can wear any shoes with that, right? You got a certain color sweatsuit, like it's just easy. You don't have to think about, oh, does this color match this one? Do I have to get this hoodie to match this pants? Like, you don't have to overthink it. You could just bam, sweatsuit. And when you're selling that like convenience, people will buy that, yo. You can sell your sweatsuits together. So you can sell like a sweatsuit for like $120 or like $240, whatever your pricing is, depending on your quality of, you know, your garments. Or you could sell the hoodies separate from the pants, and then people might buy pants and then people might buy hoodies. The only thing about that is that you're risking the fact that you might sell out one before the other. So your hoodies might sell out before the sweatpants, and then there's some people who won't buy the hoodie because there's no sweatpants, right? So there's that too, right? But these are all kind of like good problems to have versus nobody's buying your hats and nobody's buying your beanies, right? Because, you know, like not everybody wears hats and not everybody wears beanies. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to wear hats and then I cut my hair and none of my hats fit me anymore and I gave them all away, right? And those are like fitted caps too, right? Like pink brims and stuff. Like a trucker hat, you can start with a trucker hat, but I think a trucker hat is something that you should definitely have as like an add-on to something like the main garment, right? Like you want people to wear something that kind of gets seen. You know what I'm saying? Like you see what sweatpants or what hoodie a person's wearing. You might not look at their hat. You might not notice their hat. That might not be what stands out, right? And also, it's also smaller real estate. So can the person read what you're wearing? Can they see the branding on that item? Because at the end of the day, when you're starting your brand, you just want people to wear your shit. Like you just want people to be outside wearing your brand. That's the most important thing for you at that point. Not the money, not the profit. Definitely the fact that it goes in their closet and it gets worn. Like it doesn't just sit there and collect dust. Because if you sell somebody a sweatsuit or a hat or whatever it might be, and they never wore it, you basically kind of just like exhausted what could have been an unlimited gold mine. Because one, if they wear it all the time, they're gonna want another one. Because either they're gonna wear that one too much and people are gonna think, oh, you know, I'm always wearing this one, I need another one. That's what happens when somebody likes something. Or the fact that they wear it, they're gonna get seen in it, and if they like it, chances are other people like it, they're gonna leave a compliment, and then that's gonna be the word of mouth to bring more customers to your brand. So making good clothes, right? Making good garments is the best way to put your brand out there because that's word of mouth marketing. And I think the best garment to break into the market with that will help you do that is a hoodie or a sweatsuit. Maybe sweatpants, maybe. I wouldn't be like, you could, if you have a sick idea for sweatpants and you could make an interesting sweatpant, you could do that if you think it's gonna be something that, yo, people could wear with a bunch of other hoodies, because you gotta think about that too. I make my clothes thinking like, yo, I have fire red 4s that can go with this red. I have George Green 1s that can go with this green. You know what I'm saying? I have like ones that can go with this yellow, right? Like that's how I design, right? When I made these, I had the UNC 1s, I sold them. But I had the UNC 1s, and this is the exact blue of the UNC 1s. And that's how I build like the outfits. I like the stuff that's how I choose color for the most part, right? It's based off shoes, because how I dress is I make outfits from, you know, the feet up. So you have to think in that type of like, I want to say third dimensional way of like, yo, you're making clothes, but you're about to make 30 hoodies and you're not wearing all 30 hoodies. So you have to think, how do other people wear those clothes? Using that type of, you know, thinking is how I get to the fact of, yo, you want to start in October or December. You can start in the midst of winter, right? Like, but just in that winter area, and you'll sell stuff then. And then when you do that drop and you sell out, you know you'll be sold out, you can then have money to do a summer drop with shorts and t-shirts, Because those sell too, but they're not number one. They're second place because the margins are also a little bit less sometimes with those, right? Because you might, how much you're gonna sell your t-shirts for versus how much they're made. So the margins might be a little bit less, especially with shorts. The margins for shorts are stupid. I don't know why. You will then have more money from your winter drop that just sold out because you made something that's kind of essential. Like people need hoodies. You'll have more money to not only make your new collection but run ads now. So now you're in a great standing in your brand to run ads or pay an influencer or whatever it might be to then push you to that next level. All right. Free game with Nav, clothing brand. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what going on. Yeah, I'm out.